Have you ever suspected that your thoughts aren't entirely your own? What if unseen forces are subtly manipulating your reality, influencing your choices like a puppeteer pulling strings? Uncovering the truth about these entities, known as the Archons, is the key to unlocking your spiritual sovereignty. Their influence extends to every facet of human existence, shaping your perceptions and holding humanity in a subtle yet powerful form of bondage. The ancient Gnostics believed in precisely such forces, cosmic entities, or perhaps psychological ones, that seek to keep humanity in a state of ignorance, preventing us from realizing our true spiritual potential. These Archons, meaning rulers or powers, play a central role in the Gnostic creation myth, a drama in which they create and maintain a false reality, a kind of prison for the human soul. Recognize in their recurring themes the suppression of knowledge, the encouragement of conformity, and the perpetuation of conflict. They often present themselves as benevolent authorities while secretly manipulating events, subtly guiding humanity toward ends that serve their hidden agenda. The Gnostic cosmology provides the framework to fully understand their origins and dark motivations, revealing the truth about the demiurge, the flawed creator god from whose actions the Archons themselves arose. Understanding the Archons is not merely an academic exercise, it's a crucial step toward personal and collective liberation. By recognizing their influence, you can begin to break free from the limiting beliefs and societal conditioning that have held humanity captive for millennia. The scale of their impact is immense, subtly shaping everything from our thoughts and emotions to our social and political structures. This information challenges conventional narratives, drawing from ancient wisdom and esoteric traditions to offer a far deeper understanding of reality. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing critical thinking, and developing your inner gnosis, you can overcome Archon influence and reclaim your spiritual sovereignty. True liberation, then, comes not from external saviors or institutions, but from cultivating your inner knowledge and connecting with the divine spark that resides within. To truly grasp the nature of the Archons, it's essential to understand the foundations of Gnosticism itself. Emerging in the early centuries of the Common Era, Gnosticism presented a unique perspective on the nature of reality, the soul, and the divine. Key texts discovered in the Nag Hammadi library offer invaluable insights into Gnostic cosmology and beliefs, chief among them the Apocryphon of John. At the heart of Gnostic cosmology lies the concept of the demiurge, the flawed creator god who fashioned the material world. Often depicted as ignorant, arrogant, or even malevolent, the demiurge is not necessarily evil, but rather a limited being who lacks full understanding of the divine realm, inadvertently creating a world of imperfection and suffering. In the course of this video, we will delve into the Archons' creation, their role in maintaining this false reality, and most importantly, the Gnostic practices for achieving liberation from their influence. The fundamental pattern we will uncover is that the Archons operate through deception and manipulation, seeking to keep humanity enslaved to the material world and ignorant of its true spiritual potential. Through propaganda, fear, and distraction, they control human thought and behavior, preventing individuals from seeking enlightenment and realizing their divine nature. But if these forces exist, how can we identify their influence in our daily lives? Consider whether your thoughts and beliefs are truly your own or whether they have been subtly shaped by external forces, an insidious puppetry of the mind. Could there be hidden connections between these ancient Gnostic teachings and contemporary social, political, and technological trends that subtly perpetuate this ancient control? Consider the manipulation of information through media channels, the suppression of dissent in online forums, and the relentless promotion of materialism through advertising. All of these hint at deeper forces at play. In the sections that follow, we'll reveal specific meditation techniques and mindfulness practices that can help you recognize and overcome Archon influence, tapping into your inner gnosis and reclaiming your spiritual birthright. To truly understand the Archons' insidious nature, we must delve deeper into the etymology of the term itself and explore its multifaceted interpretations within the Gnostic texts. Archon, derived from the Greek word letter 1F040 chi omega nu, signifies ruler, authority, or power. This title, however, is not one of benevolent leadership, but rather of perceived dominance over the material world, an assertion of control over a realm to which they do not rightfully belong. The Gnostics viewed these entities as illegitimate rulers, self-proclaimed authorities who have hijacked the divine order and established a counterfeit reality. Consider the implications. If the very fabric of our perceived reality is governed by these flawed entities, then our understanding of truth, justice, and freedom is inherently distorted. This etymological exploration is not merely an academic exercise, it's a crucial step in recognizing the Archons' modus operandi. By understanding their self-proclaimed authority, we can begin to question the legitimacy of the systems and structures they have erected, seeing through the illusion of control. Various Gnostic texts offer differing accounts of the Archons' creation, each providing a unique lens through which to understand their origins and motivations. The Apocryphon of John, for instance, describes how the Archons emerged from the flawed creation of the demiurge Yaldabaoth. This text paints a picture of the Archons as chaotic beings born from ignorance and arrogance, embodying the demiurge's own limitations. In contrast, the Gospel of Philip offers a more nuanced perspective, suggesting that the Archons may have a more complex role in the cosmic drama, perhaps even serving as agents of divine will in some distorted form. The hypostasis of the Archons further elaborates on their physical forms and hierarchical structure, depicting them as monstrous beings with animalistic features, each embodying a specific form of corruption and control. Comparing these creation accounts reveals a crucial pattern. The Archons are consistently portrayed as beings that lack true understanding and divine connection, driven by a thirst for power and a desire to maintain their dominion over humanity. The Archons' primary tool of control is the maintenance of the veil of ignorance, a subtle yet pervasive barrier that prevents humans from realizing their inherent divine potential. This veil is not a physical barrier, but rather a complex web of sensory manipulation, emotional manipulation, and disinformation designed to keep humanity locked into the material world, forever chasing fleeting pleasures and avoiding the deeper truths of existence. Sensory manipulation involves the distortion of our perceptions through the control of information and the creation of artificial realities. Think about the constant bombardment of advertising images designed to create artificial needs and desires, or the carefully crafted narratives presented by mainstream media outlets that shape our understanding of current events. Emotional manipulation, on the other hand, targets our deepest fears and desires, exploiting our vulnerabilities to keep us in a state of anxiety, dependence, and conformity. Consider the political rhetoric that plays on our fears of terrorism or economic collapse, or the social media algorithms that exploit our need for validation and belonging. Disinformation, the deliberate spread of false or misleading information, further compounds the problem, making it increasingly difficult to discern truth from falsehood. Conspiracy theories, propaganda, and outright lies are all tools used to confuse and disorient the masses, preventing them from uniting against the forces of control. Consider how the Archons exploit fear, guilt, and desire to control individuals, perpetuating cycles of suffering and ignorance. Fear of death, failure, or rejection is used to keep us confined within the boundaries of social norms and expectations. Guilt is used to manipulate our behavior, making us feel responsible for the problems of the world and compelling us to seek redemption through external institutions. Desire, particularly the insatiable craving for material possessions and fleeting pleasures, distracts us from the pursuit of spiritual growth. Furthermore, according to Gnostic teachings, the Archons trap the divine spark, or pneuma, within the material body, further hindering spiritual awakening. This divine spark represents our true essence, our connection to the divine source. By imprisoning it within the limitations of the physical form, the Archons create a false sense of self, identity, and purpose, distracting us from the spiritual path. Consider how society encourages us to identify with our external attributes, our jobs, our possessions, our social status, rather than our inner qualities of love, compassion, and wisdom. The Archons encourage us to define ourselves by what we have rather than who we are, perpetuating a cycle of materialism and dissatisfaction. The Archons further create a false sense of purpose by encouraging us to seek fulfillment through external achievements, such as career success or social recognition. We are taught to believe that our worth is determined by our accomplishments, leading us to constantly strive for more, never truly content with what we have. The Archons, through these manipulations, create a world where the pursuit of external validation overshadows the quest for inner peace and spiritual awakening. This trapping of the divine spark is not a one-time event, but rather a continuous process, a subtle and insidious form of control that perpetuates the illusion of separation from the divine. This spiritual amnesia is the foundation of Archon power. These ancient manipulations echo eerily in modern society, manifesting in forms so pervasive they often go unnoticed. Political manipulation, for instance, serves as a potent contemporary manifestation of Archon control. Propaganda, censorship, and political polarization are all tools used to divide and control populations, creating an environment of distrust and animosity that prevents collective action. Consider how political rhetoric is often used to demonize opposing viewpoints, creating a climate of fear and intolerance. Censorship, whether overt or subtle, limits access to alternative perspectives, ensuring that the dominant narrative remains unchallenged. Political polarization further divides society into warring factions, preventing meaningful dialogue and cooperation. By exploiting these divisions, those in power can maintain their control, preventing any real challenge to the established order. The consumerist culture, too, acts as a powerful tool for promoting materialism and distracting from spiritual pursuits. Advertising and marketing create artificial needs and desires, trapping individuals in a cycle of consumption that leaves them perpetually dissatisfied. The relentless pursuit of material possessions becomes a substitute for true fulfillment, distracting us from the deeper questions of existence. Consider how advertising often targets our insecurities, promising us that buying a certain product will make us more attractive, successful, or happy. This constant bombardment of messages reinforces the belief that our worth is determined by what we own, perpetuating a cycle of materialism and emptiness. Even more insidious is the pervasive nature of media control and technological addiction, both of which serve as means of shaping perception and limiting critical thinking. Social media algorithms and echo chambers reinforce existing beliefs and prevent exposure to alternative perspectives, creating a distorted view of reality. The constant stream of information and entertainment provided by technology can also be highly addictive, distracting us from the present moment and preventing us from engaging in meaningful self-reflection. Consider how social media platforms use algorithms to curate our feeds, showing us content that is most likely to engage us based on our past behavior. While this may seem convenient, it also creates an echo chamber, where we are only exposed to information that confirms our existing beliefs, reinforcing our biases and limiting our ability to think critically. The addictive nature of technology further compounds the problem, drawing us away from real-world interactions and preventing us from engaging in activities that promote spiritual growth, such as meditation, contemplation, and connection with nature. These subtle yet powerful forces work in concert to keep humanity trapped in a state of ignorance, perpetuating the Archon's control. Recognizing these influences is the first step towards breaking free. So, how do we begin to dismantle this insidious control? The path to liberation begins with self-awareness, the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Practices like mindfulness meditation and self-reflection are invaluable tools for cultivating this awareness, allowing us to step back from the constant stream of mental chatter and recognize the patterns that shape our behavior. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing our attention on the present moment, observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them. Self-reflection, on the other hand, involves taking time to examine our beliefs, values, and motivations, questioning the assumptions that underlie our actions. Critical thinking is equally essential, enabling us to question established beliefs and challenge the status quo. Methods for analyzing information, identifying biases, and evaluating evidence are crucial for discerning truth from falsehood in a world saturated with disinformation. Learning to think critically allows us to break free from the echo chambers and propaganda that perpetuate Archon control, empowering us to form our own independent judgments. Ultimately, true liberation hinges on the cultivation of inner gnosis, the direct spiritual knowledge that transcends intellectual understanding. Gnosis is not something that can be learned from books or teachers, but rather something that must be experienced directly through meditation, contemplation, and connection with the divine. By turning inward, we can access the divine spark within us, reconnecting with our true essence and breaking free from the illusion of separation. Remember that gnosis is the key to unlocking our spiritual potential, empowering us to overcome the limitations of the material world and reclaim our spiritual sovereignty. History is replete with examples of individuals who resisted Archon-like control and achieved spiritual awakening. Gnostic saints, mystics, and rebels throughout history challenged the established order, seeking to liberate humanity from ignorance and oppression. Figures like Valentinus, a prominent Gnostic teacher, and Hypatia of Alexandria, a philosopher and mathematician who defied societal norms, serve as beacons of light, inspiring us to question authority and pursue our own spiritual paths. These individuals serve as powerful reminders that liberation is possible, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Moreover, community and shared knowledge play a vital role in supporting individual and collective liberation. The original mystery schools, for example, fostered a sense of belonging and purpose, providing a safe space for individuals to explore their spiritual potential and share their insights with others. These schools served as incubators of gnosis, empowering individuals to challenge the prevailing narratives and create a more enlightened society. What, then, is the next step in our journey to understand the Archons and their influence on our lives? To further refine our understanding of the Archons' nature, let's journey beyond the confines of Gnostic cosmology and explore parallel concepts in other spiritual traditions. While the Gnostics provide a particularly detailed account of these entities, the underlying themes of cosmic deception and spiritual oppression resonate across a multitude of cultures and belief systems. Have you ever wondered if the Archons are merely a Gnostic invention, or if they represent a universal archetype of spiritual control? Consider the Hermetic tradition, for instance, which speaks of planetary rulers, celestial beings who govern the various spheres of existence. While not inherently malevolent, these rulers can become obstacles on the path to spiritual ascension if one remains attached to their respective realms, mistaking them for ultimate reality. Similarly, in Kabbalah, the Kulipath represent the forces of chaos and imbalance that dwell in the shadow of the Sephirotic tree. These entities, often depicted as demonic or grotesque, embody the negative aspects of the divine, hindering spiritual progress and tempting individuals with false promises. Even in ancient Mesopotamian demonology, we find echoes of the Archon concept in the form of various malevolent spirits and deities who sought to control humanity through fear and superstition. These entities, with names like Pazuzu and Lamashtu, were believed to cause disease, misfortune, and madness, requiring elaborate rituals of exorcism and protection. What becomes clear upon closer examination is that while the specific names and roles may differ, the underlying pattern remains strikingly consistent. A network of limiting, deceptive entities seeking to control humanity and keep us from realizing our true spiritual potential. Across these diverse cultural contexts, these entities share common traits such as a tendency toward manipulation, a thirst for power, and a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. They exploit human vulnerabilities, preying on our fears, insecurities, and desires, keeping us trapped in cycles of suffering and ignorance. These entities often seek to control humanity. They present themselves as benevolent guides or protectors, subtly manipulating our perceptions and diverting us from the path of true awakening. They use deception and misinformation to sow confusion and distrust, preventing us from uniting against their control. They create elaborate systems of social and political control, reinforcing their power and suppressing dissent. These commonalities suggest that the Archon concept is not merely a product of Gnostic imagination, but rather a reflection of a deeper, more universal reality, a recognition that unseen forces are at play in the cosmos, influencing human affairs and shaping our collective destiny. How then have humans throughout history sought to interact with or defend themselves against these Archon-like entities? The answer lies in the realm of magic, the ancient art of manipulating unseen forces to achieve desired outcomes. Throughout history, various magical methods have been employed to engage with or defend against these entities, each offering a unique approach to navigating the treacherous waters of the spirit world. Consider the elaborate rituals and incantations used by ancient mages to evoke or repel these forces. These practices, often shrouded in secrecy and symbolism, involved the careful manipulation of energy, intention, and sacred objects to influence the behavior of these entities. Specific sigils and symbols, geometric shapes, colors, and sounds are often associated with these entities, used to evoke or repel them, revealing how these symbols tap into deeper energetic realities. Take, for example, the use of specific geometric shapes, colors, and sounds to evoke or repel these entities. These symbols, often derived from ancient traditions and esoteric knowledge, were believed to act as keys, unlocking hidden dimensions of reality and allowing practitioners to communicate with the beings that dwell within. The pentagram, for instance, has been used for centuries as a symbol of protection against evil forces, while certain colors, such as black and red, are associated with the darker aspects of the spirit world. By understanding the symbolic language of magic, practitioners could gain access to the tools and techniques needed to defend themselves against the Archon's influence. Consider, too, the historical accounts of magical battles against these entities, stories of mages who claim to have successfully overcome or controlled these forces. These narratives, often embellished with myth and legend, highlight the importance of knowledge, skill, and spiritual purity in the fight against spiritual oppression. Mages and sorcerers acted as intermediaries between the human and spirit realms, capable of summoning, binding, or banishing unwanted entities. The stories of these magical battles serve as a reminder that the fight against the Archons is not merely a philosophical exercise, but also a practical one, requiring courage, determination, and a willingness to confront the darkness within and without. They understood that true power came not from brute force, but from inner strength, spiritual insight, and an unwavering commitment to the path of light. The very act of engaging in magical practices can be seen as a form of resistance, a refusal to passively accept the limitations imposed by the Archons. By actively shaping our reality through intention, will, and focused energy, we can begin to dismantle the structures of control and reclaim our spiritual sovereignty. But how exactly do the Archons manipulate human perception and create the veil of ignorance that keeps us trapped in their matrix? To understand this, we must delve deeper into the psychological and spiritual mechanisms through which these entities exert their influence. One of the primary ways the Archons maintain their control is by distorting our perception of reality, creating a false sense of self, identity, and purpose. They accomplish this through a variety of means, including sensory manipulation, emotional manipulation, and disinformation, as discussed previously. However, their influence extends far beyond these external manipulations, reaching into the very depths of our psyche. The Archons can be understood as internal psychological barriers, limiting beliefs, and negative thought patterns that distort our perception of reality and our potential. These internal barriers manifest as self-doubt, fear, anxiety, and other negative emotions that prevent us from taking risks, pursuing our dreams, and realizing our true potential. Furthermore, the Archons amplify limiting emotional states, such as fear, anxiety, and doubt, hindering spiritual growth and preventing individuals from realizing their true potential. They exploit our deepest insecurities and vulnerabilities, preying on our fears of failure, rejection, and death. These emotions act as a veil, clouding our judgment and preventing us from seeing the truth of our own divine nature. The Archons also manifest as societal control mechanisms, perpetuating a state of spiritual and intellectual bondage through propaganda, censorship, and economic inequality. These forces create a system of oppression that keeps individuals trapped in cycles of poverty, dependence, and conformity, preventing them from breaking free and pursuing their spiritual aspirations. Consider how propaganda shapes public opinion, promoting certain ideologies and suppressing others. Censorship limits access to alternative perspectives, ensuring that the dominant narrative remains unchallenged. Economic inequality creates a system where some individuals have access to vast resources while others struggle to survive, perpetuating a cycle of poverty and dependence. How, then, can we transcend Archon influence and reclaim our spiritual freedom? The answer lies in deeper practices for liberation, advanced techniques that go beyond mere intellectual understanding and tap into the very source of our being. Advanced meditation techniques are crucial for transcending Archon influence, facilitating out-of-body experiences, astral projection, or shamanic journeying to bypass the Archon's control. These practices allow us to detach from the physical body and explore the higher realms of consciousness, gaining access to knowledge and experiences that are beyond the reach of the Archons. Through these explorations, we can gain a deeper understanding of the nature of reality and our place within it, breaking free from the limitations of the Archon's matrix. Dissolving limiting beliefs and emotional patterns is also essential, employing techniques like shadow work, inner child healing, and cognitive restructuring to identify and dismantle the psychological constructs that keep individuals bound to the Archon's matrix. These practices involve confronting our deepest fears, insecurities, and traumas, integrating the shadow aspects of our personality, and reframing our limiting beliefs. By healing these wounds and transforming our negative thought patterns, we can break free from the Archon's psychological grip and reclaim our emotional and mental sovereignty. Ultimately, the key to liberation lies in cultivating inner gnosis and connecting with one's divine spark, accessing direct spiritual experiences, intuitive insights, and mystical encounters that provide a pathway to liberation, transcending the limitations of the material world. This involves turning inward, quieting the mind, and opening ourselves to the guidance of our higher self. Direct spiritual experiences, such as mystical visions or encounters with divine beings, can provide powerful insights and awakenings, shattering our illusions and revealing the truth of our interconnectedness. But how do we translate this inner transformation into outward action, performing the great work and connecting to the all to break through the matrix and ascend? Specific steps include transforming limiting beliefs, mastering emotions, and aligning with divine intentions. This involves making conscious choices that are in alignment with our highest values, cultivating virtues like compassion, wisdom, and courage, and dedicating our lives to the service of others. Moreover, how can the liberated soul return to assist others in the great work? By embodying virtues like compassion, wisdom, and courage, individuals become beacons of light that inspire others to break free from the Archons' control. By sharing our knowledge, insights, and experiences with others, we can empower them to awaken to their own divine potential and join us in the fight for liberation. Examples range from spiritual teachers and healers to social activists and artists, all working to create a more just, compassionate, and enlightened world. What if the very fabric of reality is more malleable than we ever imagined? And what if the key to unlocking our true potential lies not in escaping the world, but in transforming it? Let's delve into the Archons' specific roles within the Gnostic cosmology, venturing beyond broad descriptions to explore their precise functions. Think of the cosmos as a multi-layered prison, each layer governed by an Archon who acts as warden, preventing souls from escaping the material realm. Their roles as rulers of the planetary spheres are not merely symbolic. Each sphere represents a specific type of limitation or attachment that binds the soul. For example, the sphere of Saturn might represent the limitations of time, karma, and worldly authority, while the sphere of Mars might embody the passions, conflicts, and destructive tendencies that keep us mired in the cycle of suffering. These spheres aren't just abstract concepts. They are energetic realities that influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, creating a web of illusion that obscures our true spiritual nature. The Archons, as wardens of these spheres, actively work to reinforce these limitations, exploiting our weaknesses and keeping us from realizing our divine potential, ensuring we remain trapped in their cosmic prison. Is it possible that our modern obsession with astrology, with its focus on planetary influences, is a reflection of this ancient Gnostic understanding of the Archons' dominion over our lives? Within the variations among Gnostic creation myths, the Archons' actions, motivations, and interrelationships take on even greater significance. Consider the creation stories from different Gnostic texts, such as the Apocryphon of John and the Gospel of Philip. In the Apocryphon, the Archons are portrayed as malevolent beings, driven by envy and ignorance, who seek to usurp the power of the true God. They create the material world as a counterfeit reality, a distorted reflection of the divine realm, trapping souls within its confines. In contrast, the Gospel of Philip presents a more nuanced view, suggesting that the Archons may be misguided or incomplete beings, rather than purely evil entities. Their actions are seen as a result of their limited understanding, rather than a deliberate attempt to cause harm, reflecting different understandings of the Archons' nature and influence. These variations reveal the complexity of Gnostic thought, highlighting the ongoing debate about the nature of evil, the origins of suffering, and the path to liberation. Do these differing accounts suggest that the Archons themselves are not a monolithic force, but rather a diverse group of entities with varying agendas and motivations? The Demiurge's role in creating the Archons adds another layer of complexity to this cosmic drama. The Demiurge, often depicted as a flawed or ignorant creator god, is responsible for bringing the material world into being, including the Archons who inhabit it. In some accounts, the Demiurge is portrayed as a blind or arrogant being, unaware of the true God and acting out of a misguided sense of self-importance. His creation is thus imperfect, filled with limitations, suffering, and illusion. The Archons, as offspring or emanations of the Demiurge, inherit these flaws, perpetuating the cycle of ignorance and oppression, embodying the idea that the Archons are a reflection of the Demiurge's own limitations. Think about how this mirrors the human experience. We often create our own limitations and suffering through our flawed beliefs, negative emotions, and destructive behaviors. Could the Demiurge be seen as a metaphor for the human ego, the part of us that creates a false sense of self, and keeps us separated from our true divine nature. Let's turn our attention to the magical origins and symbolism associated with Archon-like entities, exploring the specific methods employed to interact with or defend against them. The use of banishing rituals to ward off negative influences has been a staple of magical practice for centuries. These rituals, often involving the invocation of divine names, the recitation of sacred texts, and the manipulation of symbolic objects, are designed to create a protective barrier around the practitioner, repelling unwanted energies and entities. The magical tools used in these rituals, the wand, sword, chalice, and pentacle, are not merely props, but rather powerful instruments imbued with specific magical properties and symbolic meanings. The wand represents the will, the power of intention to shape reality. The sword symbolizes discernment, the ability to cut through illusion and see the truth. The chalice embodies receptivity, the capacity to receive divine grace and wisdom. The pentacle represents the element of earth, grounding and stability, and the protective forces of nature. Do these tools represent not external objects, but internal states that, when focused, create a powerful shield? The specific symbols and sigils associated with Archon-like entities in various magical systems offer a glimpse into their hidden nature and purpose. Deciphering the symbols associated with specific archons in different traditions, you'll find recurring motifs that reveal their underlying characteristics. For example, certain symbols might represent the archon's dominion over a specific planetary sphere, while others might depict their association with certain emotions or behaviors. The colors, shapes, and numbers associated with these symbols are not arbitrary. They are carefully chosen to tap into deeper energetic realities, creating a resonance that allows practitioners to connect with or repel these entities. Imagine, for instance, a sigil composed of sharp, angular lines and dark, somber colors, representing the archon's power to create division, conflict, and despair. By understanding the symbolism, practitioners can gain a deeper understanding of the archon's influence and develop more effective strategies for countering their effects, tapping into deeper energetic realities. What if the very act of studying and understanding these symbols weakens the archon's power over us by bringing their hidden influence into the light of conscious awareness? The concept of magical defense against archon-like influences is a crucial aspect of spiritual self-defense. Creating psychic shields, invoking protective deities, and employing counterspells are all techniques used to deflect negative energies and maintain spiritual integrity. Psychic shields can be created through visualization, meditation, and the use of protective symbols, forming an invisible barrier around the individual that repels unwanted influences. Invoking protective deities involves calling upon the assistance of benevolent spiritual beings, such as angels, gods, or ascended masters, who can provide guidance, strength, and protection. Counterspells are used to directly neutralize the effects of negative energies or entities, revering their influence and restoring balance. These techniques are not about aggression or domination, but rather about asserting one's spiritual sovereignty and defending oneself against those who seek to control or harm. Could it be that the most powerful form of magical defense is simply the unwavering commitment to truth, love, and compassion, creating a vibrational field that repels negativity and attracts positive influences? How do the archons specifically manipulate human perception, perpetuating the illusion of separation and limitation? By exploiting sensory illusions, cognitive biases, and emotional triggers, the archons distort our understanding of reality, creating a false sense of self, identity, and purpose. Sensory illusions, such as optical illusions or auditory hallucinations, can trick our minds into perceiving things that are not actually there. Cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias or anchoring bias, can distort our judgment, leading us to make irrational decisions based on false assumptions. Emotional triggers, such as fear, anger, or guilt, can cloud our thinking, making us more susceptible to manipulation. The Archons exploit these vulnerabilities, creating a web of deception that keeps us trapped in their matrix, leading us further away from any hope of liberation. Are we so caught up in the drama of our daily lives that we fail to notice the subtle ways in which our perceptions are being manipulated, our thoughts being influenced, and our emotions being triggered? The limiting emotional states fostered by Archon-like influences have a devastating impact on human potential, hindering spiritual growth and preventing individuals from realizing their true potential. By amplifying fear, anxiety, and doubt, the Archons create a self-perpetuating cycle of limitation and despair, which is directly linked to specific limiting beliefs and thought patterns. Fear prevents us from taking risks, pursuing our dreams, and stepping outside our comfort zones. Anxiety keeps us trapped in a state of constant worry and unease, preventing us from enjoying the present moment. Doubt undermines our confidence, making us question our abilities and preventing us from achieving our goals. These emotions are not merely psychological states. They are energetic forces that drain our vitality, weaken our resolve, and make us more vulnerable to Archon influence. Is it possible that the constant barrage of negative news and fear-mongering in the media is a deliberate attempt to keep us in a state of emotional turmoil, making us more susceptible to control? Archon-like influences manifest as societal control mechanisms that perpetuate spiritual bondage, keeping individuals trapped in cycles of poverty, dependence, and conformity. Propaganda, censorship, and economic inequality are all tools used to manipulate and control populations, reinforcing the Archon's power and suppressing dissent. Propaganda shapes public opinion, promoting certain ideologies and suppressing others. Censorship limits access to alternative perspectives, ensuring that the dominant narrative remains unchallenged. Economic inequality creates a system where some individuals have access to vast resources while others struggle to survive, perpetuating a cycle of poverty and dependence. Consider, for instance, how media narratives are often carefully crafted to promote certain political agendas or economic interests, while dissenting voices are marginalized or silenced. The illusion of choice, where we are presented with a limited range of options that all serve the interests of those in power, further reinforces this control, reflecting Archon-like influence. Could it be that the very structure of our society is designed to keep us in a state of spiritual and intellectual bondage, preventing us from realizing our true potential? To truly transcend Archon influence, we must embrace advanced Gnostic practices that go beyond mere intellectual understanding and tap into the very source of our being. Specific visualization exercises, breathing techniques, and mantra practices can facilitate out-of-body experiences, astral projection, or shamanic journeying, allowing us to bypass the Archon's control and explore alternate dimensions. Imagine yourself, for example, lying comfortably in a quiet space, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. As you inhale, visualize a brilliant white light filling your body, dissolving any tension or negativity. As you exhale, release any limiting beliefs or emotional patterns that are holding you back. With each breath, you feel yourself becoming lighter, freer, and more expansive, detaching from the limitations of the physical world. As you continue to breathe, you begin to feel yourself rising, floating above your body, and entering a higher realm of consciousness, explaining how these techniques can be used to explore alternate dimensions and connect with divine energies. Is it possible that these altered states of consciousness offer a glimpse into the true nature of reality, revealing the Archon's illusion for what it is? Dissolving limiting beliefs, transforming emotional patterns, and integrating shadow aspects of the self are essential steps on the path to liberation, requiring techniques like shadow work, inner child healing, and cognitive restructuring to dismantle the psychological constructs that keep individuals bound to the Archon's matrix. Shadow work involves confronting our darkest fears, insecurities, and traumas, bringing them into the light of conscious awareness. Inner child healing involves connecting with our wounded inner child, offering compassion, understanding, and healing. Cognitive restructuring involves identifying and challenging our limiting beliefs, replacing them with more empowering and supportive ones. By engaging in these practices, we can heal our psychological wounds, transform our negative thought patterns, and reclaim our emotional and mental sovereignty, leading to greater self-awareness, emotional resilience, and psychological integration. What if the key to defeating the Archons lies not in fighting them externally, but in healing the wounds within ourselves, integrating our shadow aspects, and embracing our wholeness? Ultimately, the key to liberation lies in cultivating inner gnosis and connecting with one's divine spark, accessing direct spiritual experiences, intuitive insights, and mystical encounters that provide a pathway to liberation, transcending the limitations of the material world. Direct spiritual experiences, such as mystical visions or encounters with divine beings, can provide powerful insights and awakenings, shattering our illusions and revealing the truth of our interconnectedness. Intuitive insights can guide us on our path, helping us make wise decisions and avoid pitfalls. Mystical encounters can fill us with a sense of awe, wonder, and profound connection, reminding us of our true divine nature, encouraging viewers to embrace their unique spiritual gifts and cultivate a deeper connection with the divine. Is it possible that the Archons fear nothing more than our awakening to our own divine potential, our realization that we are not separate from the source of all creation? Now, let's put these Gnostic and magical principles into action with some practical self-empowerment exercises that you can use to break free from Archon-like influences and reclaim your spiritual sovereignty. Start with a guided meditation for Archon awareness. Find a quiet space where you can relax without being disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax and your mind to quiet down. Visualize a golden light surrounding you, protecting you from any negative energies. Now, imagine yourself standing before a mirror. In the mirror, you see not your physical reflection, but rather your inner self, your true essence. As you gaze into the mirror, notice any limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns that arise. These are the Archon-like influences that are holding you back, and recognize and dissolve limiting beliefs with meditation techniques. Acknowledge these beliefs without judgment, and then gently release them, allowing them to dissolve into the golden light. Affirm your true identity as a divine being, powerful, loving, and free. Next, perform a ritual for reclaiming personal power, creating a sacred space by lighting a candle, burning incense, or playing calming music. Invoke protective energies by calling upon the assistance of benevolent spiritual beings, such as angels, gods, or ascended masters. Affirm your spiritual sovereignty by declaring your intention to break free from Archon-like influences and reclaim your power. And breaking free from Archon-like influences requires performing a simplified ritual. Visualize yourself cutting the cords that bind you to these entities, severing their control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Feel the energy of freedom and empowerment flowing through you, filling you with confidence and resolve. Cultivate a daily practice of discernment, questioning the origin and intent of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Is it based on truth or fear? Does it serve my highest good? Use journaling prompts to assist in pattern recognition, writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences each day, looking for recurring themes or patterns. This daily habit will empower you to recognize Archon-like influences in your life and take steps to counteract their effects, assisting in pattern recognition. Are you ready to embrace your inner authority, trust your intuition, and take decisive action to align with your true values and aspirations? Remember, the power to create a reality free from Archon influence lies within you, emphasizing the power of individual choice and personal responsibility. By making conscious choices that are aligned with your highest values, trusting your intuition, and taking decisive action to reclaim your spiritual sovereignty, you can break free from the limitations of the Archons matrix and create a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Let's now turn our gaze inward, exploring how the Archons can be understood as psychological archetypes, reflections of our own inner landscape, and the hidden aspects of ourselves we often disown. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow, that repository of repressed emotions, unacceptable impulses, and disowned qualities, provides a powerful framework for understanding the Archons' psychological dimension. The shadow is not inherently evil. It's simply the part of ourselves we haven't integrated into our conscious awareness. The Archons, in this context, become personifications of specific shadow qualities, such as the desire for control, the tendency to manipulate, or the fear of the unknown. The Archon of ignorance, for example, mirrors our own resistance to new ideas, our unwillingness to question our beliefs, and our fear of the truth. The Archon of power represents our unacknowledged ambition, our lust for control, and our willingness to exploit others to get what we want. These aren't external entities, they are aspects of ourselves that we project onto the world, creating a distorted reflection of our inner reality. Is it possible that by confronting and integrating these shadow aspects, we can diminish the Archon's power over us, reclaiming our wholeness and authenticity? When we project these inner aspects onto the external world, blaming external forces or individuals for our problems, we inadvertently reinforce Archon-like control, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of victimhood and powerlessness. This projection serves as a defense mechanism, shielding us from the discomfort of self-reflection and personal responsibility. Instead of acknowledging our own capacity for manipulation, we accuse others of being manipulative. Instead of confronting our own fear of the unknown, we demonize those who challenge our beliefs. By externalizing these shadow qualities, we empower the Archons, giving them a foothold in our lives and preventing us from taking ownership of our own experiences. Think about how easy it is to blame the government, the corporations, or some other external force for our problems, rather than examining our own choices, beliefs, and behaviors. Could it be that this tendency to externalize blame is one of the Archons' most effective strategies for maintaining their control, keeping us trapped in a cycle of projection and disempowerment? To begin identifying your personal Archons, delve into the practice of self-reflection and shadow work, employing journaling prompts, meditation techniques, and visualization exercises to uncover hidden beliefs, repressed emotions, and unconscious patterns of behavior. Start by asking yourself, what qualities do I most dislike or judge in others? These are often the very qualities you disown in yourself. Then, explore the origins of these judgments. Where did they come from? Who taught you to believe these things? What purpose do they serve? Next, try to identify specific situations where you have exhibited these very qualities. This can be painful, but it's essential for breaking the cycle of projection. Finally, use meditation and visualization to connect with these disowned aspects of yourself, offering them compassion, acceptance, and integration. Imagine, for instance, sitting quietly, closing your eyes, and visualizing a figure representing your inner tyrant. Instead of judging or rejecting this figure, try to understand its motivations. What is it trying to protect you from? What needs is it trying to fulfill? Offer it compassion and understanding, and then gently guide it towards more constructive ways of meeting its needs. Embracing your inner demons, rather than suppressing them, allows you to transform negative energies into positive strengths, integrating these fragmented aspects of the self to unlock hidden potential and reclaim your authentic power. The alchemical process of transmutation involves taking a base metal, such as lead, and transforming it into gold. In a similar way, we can transform our negative emotions, such as fear, anger, and resentment, into positive qualities, such as courage, passion, and forgiveness. For example, instead of suppressing your anger, try to understand its source. What injustice or violation are you responding to? Then, channel that anger into constructive action, advocating for change, or defending yourself against further harm. Instead of being consumed by your fear, acknowledge its presence, explore its origins, and then use it as a catalyst for growth, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and embracing new challenges. This integration of shadow aspects isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole, embracing the full spectrum of your human experience. Now, let's shift our focus to the demiurge, that enigmatic figure at the heart of Gnostic cosmology, challenging the traditional interpretation of this entity as purely evil and exploring alternative perspectives that offer a more nuanced understanding. While some Gnostic schools portray the demiurge as a malevolent creator, driven by ignorance and arrogance, others suggest that he is simply a misguided being, acting out of a limited understanding of the divine plan. In this view, the demiurge's creation of the material world, with all its imperfections and limitations, is not a deliberate act of malice, but rather a consequence of his incomplete knowledge. Still, other interpretations propose that the demiurge is a necessary force for providing structure and form to the material world, a cosmic architect who brings order out of chaos, even if that order is ultimately flawed. Think about how the act of creation inevitably involves limitations. A sculptor, for example, must work within the constraints of their materials, their tools, and their own skill. Could it be that the demiurge is simply a representation of this inherent limitation in the creative process, a necessary aspect of bringing form into being? The demiurge can be understood as a representation of the limitations inherent in the material world itself, symbolizing the constraints of time, space, and causality that keep us bound to the physical realm and obscure our true spiritual nature. The laws of physics, for example, impose certain limitations on what is possible in the material world. We cannot travel faster than the speed of light, defy gravity, or create something from nothing. Similarly, the constraints of time limit our experiences, forcing us to live in a linear sequence of events, unable to fully grasp the totality of existence. The concept of causality dictates that every action has a reaction, creating a chain of cause and effect that can be difficult to escape. However, these limitations also provide opportunities for growth and experience. Without the constraints of gravity, we could not develop the strength and coordination to move through the world. Without the limitations of time, we might not appreciate the preciousness of each moment. Without the concept of causality, there would be no consequences for our actions and no incentive to learn and grow. Moreover, the demiurge can be analyzed as a reflection of our own limited beliefs and perceptions, demonstrating how our attachment to fixed ideas, rigid ideologies, and conventional narratives can trap us in a self-imposed prison, mirroring the demiurge's limited perspective. When we cling to our beliefs too tightly, refusing to consider alternative viewpoints, we create a mental cage that restricts our understanding of reality. When we subscribe to rigid ideologies, blindly following the dictates of authority, we relinquish our power to think for ourselves. When we accept conventional narratives without questioning their validity, we become puppets of the status quo. Think about how often we hold onto beliefs that no longer serve us, simply because we've held them for so long. Could it be that the demiurge is simply a reflection of our own intellectual inertia, our unwillingness to challenge our assumptions and expand our minds? To transcend the demiurge's influence, we can expand our consciousness, embracing a more holistic view of reality through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and contemplation, which help us break free from the confines of the rational mind and connect with higher levels of awareness. Meditation allows us to quiet the incessant chatter of the mind, creating space for intuition and insight to emerge. Mindfulness helps us to be present in the moment, fully experiencing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. Contemplation involves reflecting deeply on the nature of reality, questioning our assumptions, and seeking a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. By engaging in these practices, we can loosen the grip of our limited beliefs, expand our perspective, and connect with a higher level of consciousness, glimpsing the divine reality beyond the demiurge's limited creation. Let's now shift our focus from external authorities and elaborate rituals to the power of inner gnosis, that direct, intuitive knowing that transcends the limitations of the rational mind, offering the most direct path to liberation. True knowledge and understanding, the Gnostics believed, comes not from books, teachers, or religious institutions, but from direct spiritual experience, intuitive insights, and mystical encounters. This inner gnosis is not something that can be learned or acquired. It is something that must be awakened, cultivated, and embodied. It is the spark of divine consciousness that resides within each of us, waiting to be ignited. When we connect with this inner gnosis, we gain access to a deeper understanding of ourselves, the universe, and our place within it. Is it possible that the Archons actively try to suppress our access to this inner gnosis, knowing that it holds the key to our liberation? Techniques for cultivating inner gnosis include meditation, contemplation, and self-inquiry, practices that open pathways to deeper levels of awareness and connect us to the divine spark within, bypassing the need for external validation or authority. Mantra meditation involves focusing on a sacred sound or phrase, quieting the mind, and opening the heart to divine guidance. Visualization exercises involve creating mental images of desired outcomes, aligning our thoughts and emotions with our intentions. Self-reflection prompts involve asking ourselves deep, probing questions, challenging our assumptions, and uncovering hidden truths. By engaging in these practices, we can clear the mental clutter, tune into our intuition, and connect with the wellspring of inner wisdom that resides within each of us. Imagine yourself, for instance, sitting in meditation, focusing on the mantra So Hum, meaning I am that. With each repetition, feel yourself merging with the infinite, dissolving the boundaries between yourself and the divine. Intuition, dreams, and synchronicity all serve as valuable tools for accessing Gnostic knowledge, providing subtle guidance, symbolic messages, and meaningful coincidences that can illuminate our path and reveal hidden truths about ourselves and the nature of reality. Our intuitive hunches often provide valuable insights that our rational mind cannot grasp. Our dreams can offer symbolic messages about our subconscious desires, fears, and unresolved conflicts. Synchronistic events, those seemingly random coincidences that carry deep personal meaning, can confirm our path and provide guidance along the way. By paying attention to these subtle signals, we can tap into a deeper level of awareness, accessing Gnostic knowledge that transcends the limitations of the rational mind. Think about a time when you had a strong gut feeling about something, even though you couldn't explain it logically. Did you follow your intuition? What were the results? Embodying Gnostic principles in our daily lives brings this wisdom into practical application. Living with compassion, integrity, and authenticity helps us align with our true selves and create a more harmonious world, demonstrating how small actions can ripple outwards, transforming our reality and inspiring others to do the same. When we treat others with kindness and understanding, we create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. When we live with integrity, aligning our actions with our values, we create a foundation of trust and authenticity that attracts positive relationships and opportunities. When we express ourselves authentically, without fear of judgment or criticism, we inspire others to do the same, creating a world where everyone feels safe to be themselves. Consider, for instance, how a simple act of kindness, such as offering a helping hand to a stranger, can brighten their day and inspire them to pay it forward, creating a chain reaction of compassion and goodwill. Is it possible that the most powerful way to resist Archon influence is simply to live with love, integrity, and authenticity, creating a vibrational field that repels negativity and attracts positive change? Archon-like influences also manifest in contemporary technology, perpetuating new forms of control and manipulation through the addictive nature of social media, the surveillance capabilities of smartphones, and the potential for AI to manipulate human behavior. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive, exploiting our innate desire for connection, validation, and entertainment. Smartphones track our every move, collecting vast amounts of data about our preferences, habits, and relationships. Artificial intelligence algorithms can be used to manipulate our emotions, influence our opinions, and even control our behavior, and all limit spiritual growth. Think about how often you check your phone, scrolling through social media feeds, seeking validation from strangers, and comparing yourself to others. Are you using technology, or is technology using you? The transhumanist movement, with its promise of merging humans with machines, presents a unique challenge, raising questions about whether these technologies serve to liberate or enslave humanity, potentially acting as an Archon-like agenda for controlling human evolution. While some proponents of transhumanism argue that these technologies will enhance our capabilities, extend our lifespans, and solve some of humanity's most pressing problems, others warn of the potential for these technologies to be used for control, manipulation, and the erosion of our humanity. The ethical implications of merging humans with machines are far-reaching, raising questions about autonomy, identity, and the very definition of what it means to be human. Is it possible that the pursuit of technological advancement, without careful consideration of its ethical implications, could lead us down a path of spiritual enslavement, further distancing us from our true divine nature? We also see subtle forms of social conditioning reinforcing Archon-like control through propaganda, advertising, and entertainment, all promoting materialism, conformity, and obedience to authority, subtly shaping our desires and limiting our perspectives. Propaganda shapes public opinion, promoting certain ideologies and suppressing others. Advertising creates artificial needs, convincing us that we need certain products or services to be happy, successful, or attractive. Entertainment normalizes certain behaviors, values, and beliefs, subtly shaping our perceptions of reality. Think about how often you are exposed to messages that promote consumerism, conformity, and obedience to authority, from the news you watch to the shows you stream. Are you consciously choosing these messages, or are they unconsciously shaping your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? To resist these influences, consider practical strategies like digital detoxes, critical media consumption, and conscious engagement in social and political activism, reclaiming your attention, challenging dominant narratives, and advocating for change. Digital detoxes involve taking breaks from technology, reconnecting with nature, and engaging in activities that nourish your soul. Critical media consumption involves questioning the source, intent, and bias of the information you consume, seeking out alternative perspectives, and challenging dominant narratives. Conscious engagement in social and political activism involves advocating for change, supporting causes that align with your values, and challenging systems of oppression. These practices may feel small, but each action taken in the name of awareness can ripple outward. By taking these steps, you can reclaim your mind, reclaim your power, and create a more authentic and fulfilling life. Taking shadow work to new depths and integrating fragmented aspects of the self requires specific exercises for confronting repressed memories, acknowledging denied emotions, and transforming negative patterns of behavior. Try this exercise, write a letter to your shadow self. Address it with compassion and curiosity. Ask it what it needs, what it fears, and what gifts it holds. Then write a response from your shadow self, expressing its truth without judgment or censorship. Another technique involves active imagination, where you engage in a dialogue with your shadow self in a waking dream, allowing it to express its thoughts, feelings, and desires in a safe and controlled environment. A third technique involves dream analysis, paying attention to the symbols, characters, and emotions that appear in your dreams, looking for clues about your shadow self and the aspects of yourself that you are disowning. To practice emotional alchemy, transform lower vibrational emotions into higher states of consciousness by reframing negative thoughts, cultivating gratitude, and practicing forgiveness, all actions that change how you perceive yourself and the world. When you find yourself thinking negative thoughts, challenge their validity. Are they based on facts, or are they based on assumptions? Then reframe those thoughts in a more positive and supportive way. For instance, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," try thinking, "I am capable of learning and growing." To cultivate gratitude, take a few minutes each day to focus on the things you are grateful for, no matter how small or insignificant they may seem. To practice forgiveness, let go of resentment, anger, and bitterness, releasing the pain of the past and opening yourself up to the possibility of healing and reconciliation. By using affirmations, visualizations, and intention setting, we align with our true desires and co-create a more positive future. Affirmations are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves, reinforcing our desired beliefs and outcomes. Visualizations involve creating mental images of our desired future, immersing ourselves in the feelings of joy, abundance, and fulfillment. Intention setting involves clarifying our goals, aligning our actions with our values, and releasing our attachment to the outcome. When we combine these three techniques, we create a powerful force for manifesting our desires and co-creating a reality that is free from Archon influence. With conscious intention, we begin to see ourselves outside the matrix. Intention is the key to effecting changes in your life and escaping the matrix, for it shapes our actions and ultimately molds our reality. When you're crystal clear on what you want to create, you can align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with that intention. This alignment creates a powerful force that attracts opportunities, synchronizes events, and manifests your desires into reality. However, the most important aspect of intention is to detach from the outcome. By detaching, you align yourself with the universe and move away from Archon control. Are you ready to take control of your destiny and break free from the Archon's matrix? Understanding the Archons as fragmented aspects of the self is key for integration, offering a pathway to wholeness and liberation by recognizing these shadow figures within yourself. The Archons are not separate entities. They're aspects of the human psyche, representing unacknowledged fears, suppressed desires, and limiting beliefs. Each Archon embodies specific psychological qualities, such as control, manipulation, or ignorance. These qualities exist within each individual, influencing thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, even unconsciously, but acknowledging this breaks their hold. Integrating these shadow aspects offers numerous benefits: improved self-awareness, emotional resilience, enhanced creativity, and a deeper sense of purpose. Self-awareness increases as one confronts and integrates the disowned parts of the self, fostering a more authentic and integrated sense of identity. Emotional resilience grows as one learns to accept and manage difficult emotions, reducing the impact of external stressors. Creativity is enhanced as one taps into the hidden resources and energies within the shadow self, unlocking new possibilities for expression and innovation. A deeper sense of purpose emerges as one aligns with their true values and aspirations, living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Exercises for confronting and integrating these shadow aspects include shadow journaling, active imagination, and dream analysis, tools for understanding and accepting the hidden parts of yourself. Shadow journaling involves writing about your negative thoughts, feelings, and experiences without judgment or censorship, allowing you to express your truth and gain insights into your shadow self. Active imagination involves engaging in a dialogue with your shadow self in a waking dream, allowing it to express its thoughts, feelings, and desires in a safe and controlled environment. Dream analysis involves paying attention to the symbols, characters, and emotions that appear in your dreams, looking for clues about your shadow self and the aspects of yourself that you are disowning. For example, if you dream of being chased by a monster, that monster could represent a disowned aspect of yourself that you are running away from. Wholeness is a path to transcendence and spiritual liberation, encouraging us to embrace all aspects of ourselves, both light and dark, as essential components of our unique spiritual journey. When we embrace our wholeness, we transcend the limitations of the Archons matrix and connect with our true divine nature. We realize that we are not separate from the source of all creation, that we are all interconnected, and that we all have the power to create a more positive and fulfilling reality. This is an essential step in the journey where we leave the darkness. But what lies beyond the Archons' reach? Are there higher dimensional realities that exist beyond their control? The possibility of alternate dimensions, parallel universes, or spiritual realms hints at realities where the laws of physics and consciousness operate differently, offering a glimpse of what lies beyond the limitations of our current understanding. Imagine, for instance, a realm where thoughts create reality instantly, where time and space are fluid and malleable, and where love and compassion are the guiding principles. Would this be the ultimate freedom? The liberated individual, having transcended Archon influence, has a role in co-creating a new world, a world where consciousness is valued, love is the guiding principle, and everyone is empowered to live their fullest potential. By aligning our intentions, focusing our energy, and taking inspired action, we can manifest our desires and shape reality according to our highest aspirations. We can choose to create a world where everyone has access to the resources they need to thrive, where everyone is treated with respect and dignity, and where everyone is empowered to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. It's a shift where we change our world. This individual co-creation is linked to the concept of collective awakening and the potential for a global shift in consciousness, suggesting that as more individuals awaken to the truth and reclaim their spiritual sovereignty, a critical mass will be reached, leading to a planetary transformation. A new era of peace, harmony, and enlightenment is not just a dream. It is a possibility that is within our reach. If enough people are awakened, then the world will be changed in a way that's never been seen before. Are you willing to be one of the first? Continuing the journey of self-discovery, personal empowerment, and conscious co-creation is paramount, encouraging us to embrace our unique gifts, cultivate our inner gnosis, and work together to build a world that reflects our highest aspirations. By taking action, we can start to shift the balance of power in the world. By continuing to question, explore, and create, we become architects of a new reality. The journey never truly ends, and in the next section, we'll discuss even more actions you can take. Let's delve deeper into how these Archons manifest not just in the external world, but within the very fabric of our minds, acting as internal saboteurs that prevent us from reaching our full potential. These internal Archons are distinct patterns of self-sabotage, insidious voices and tendencies that limit our growth and keep us trapped in cycles of negativity. Imagine them as personalized demons, each with their own unique set of tactics and strategies for keeping you down. Have you ever wondered why you struggle to achieve your goals, even when you know what you need to do? The answer may lie in these internal Archons, the unseen forces that undermine your best intentions. Consider, for instance, the inner critic, Archon, that relentless voice of negative self-talk that constantly judges, belittles, and undermines your confidence. It tells you that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, and that you're destined to fail. This Archon uses tactics like perfectionism, setting impossibly high standards, and focusing on your flaws, preventing you from taking risks or pursuing your dreams. It whispers insidious lies in your ear, eroding your self-esteem and leaving you feeling helpless and inadequate. Then there's the procrastinator Archon, that master of delay and avoidance that keeps you from taking action. It distracts you with trivial tasks, convinces you that you're not ready, and fills your mind with excuses for why you can't start now. This Archon uses tactics like distraction, rationalization, and fear of failure, preventing you from achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life. It lures you into a false sense of security, promising that you can always start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. And let's not forget the victim Archon, that champion of blame and powerlessness that convinces you that you're a victim of circumstance, that you have no control over your life and that everyone is out to get you. This archon uses tactics like blaming external forces, feeling helpless and resentful, and refusing to take responsibility for your own choices, keeping you trapped in a cycle of victimhood and disempowerment. Think about the last time you blamed someone else for your problems or felt sorry for yourself because of your circumstances. Could it be that the victim archon was at play, manipulating your thoughts and emotions to keep you trapped in a state of powerlessness? These internal archons have profound emotional and psychological effects, shaping your self-image, influencing your decisions, and ultimately determining the course of your life. The inner critic archon leads to feelings of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem, eroding your confidence and making you afraid to take risks. Imagine feeling paralyzed by fear, constantly second-guessing yourself, and never feeling good enough. The procrastinator archon leads to feelings of guilt, shame, and stress, creating a cycle of avoidance and self-sabotage. Think about the pressure of looming deadlines, the regret of missed opportunities, and the constant feeling of being behind. The victim archon leads to feelings of helplessness, resentment, and anger, creating a sense of isolation and preventing you from taking action to improve your life. Envision feeling trapped, believing that you have no control over your circumstances and constantly blaming others for your misfortunes. Recognizing these patterns is crucial, as each archon's influence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing negative beliefs and creating a vicious cycle of self-sabotage. The inner critic archon, through constant negative self-talk, reinforces a negative self-image, making you believe that you're unworthy of love, success, or happiness. The procrastinator archon, through delaying action and avoiding challenges, leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled goals, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and incompetence. The victim archon, through blaming external forces and refusing to take responsibility, reinforces feelings of powerlessness and helplessness, perpetuating a cycle of victimhood and resentment. Consider how negative self-talk can lead to a lack of confidence, which in turn leads to poor performance, which then reinforces the negative self-talk. This creates a vicious cycle that is difficult to break, but liberation is possible. Overcoming these internal saboteurs requires a conscious effort to identify, challenge, and transform these negative patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior. This involves developing self-awareness, cultivating self-compassion, and implementing practical strategies for breaking free from the archon's grip. By understanding their tactics and recognizing their influence, you can begin to reclaim your power and create a more positive and fulfilling life. It starts with acknowledging their existence and understanding their motivations. What are they trying to protect you from? What needs are they trying to fulfill? To begin, identify and challenge the influence of each internal archon by employing cognitive restructuring techniques to reframe negative self-talk. For instance, when you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, such as "I'm not good enough," challenge the validity of those thoughts. Ask yourself, is there any evidence to support this thought? Is there another way to interpret this situation? Then replace those negative thoughts with more positive and realistic affirmations, such as "I am capable of learning and growing," or "I am worthy of love and happiness." To overcome procrastination, implement time management strategies, breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps, setting realistic deadlines, and rewarding yourself for completing tasks. For the victim archon, practice taking responsibility for your own choices, even when it's difficult, recognizing that you have the power to change your circumstances. This can be done by focusing on what you can control, setting small, achievable goals, and celebrating your successes, however small they may seem. Managing the emotional triggers associated with these internal archons requires emotional regulation techniques, such as mindfulness practices for observing emotions without judgment and grounding techniques for managing anxiety and stress. When you feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, such as anxiety, anger, or sadness, take a step back and observe those emotions without judgment. Notice the physical sensations, the thoughts, and the feelings that arise. Remind yourself that you are not your emotions, you are simply experiencing them. Then, use grounding techniques, such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or visualization, to calm your nervous system and bring yourself back to the present moment. The ability to observe your emotions without becoming consumed by them is essential for breaking free from the Archons' control. Central to overcoming self-sabotage is self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, understanding, and acceptance, especially when you make mistakes or face setbacks. Acknowledge that everyone struggles, that failure is a part of the learning process, and that you are worthy of love and compassion even when you're not perfect. Practice self-care activities, such as taking a relaxing bath, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies that you enjoy. Remind yourself that you are doing the best you can and that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. By cultivating self-compassion, you can break the cycle of self-criticism and build resilience, allowing you to bounce back from adversity and continue moving forward on your path. It is also essential to challenge limiting beliefs and foster self-efficacy by setting small, achievable goals and celebrating your successes, building confidence and challenging the victim Archons narrative. Recognizing the Archons as internal forces dissolves the illusion of separation between self and other, revealing that the enemy is not out there, but rather within us, in our own thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. When we realize that the Archons are simply aspects of our own psyche, we can stop projecting them onto external figures and start taking responsibility for our own experiences. Showcasing how externalizing blame prevents self-reflection and personal growth, keeping us trapped in a cycle of projection and disempowerment. Is it possible that the most powerful act of resistance is simply to take responsibility for our own lives, to own our shadows, and to embrace our wholeness? Projecting these internal Archons onto external figures reinforces Archon-like control in the world, perpetuating division, conflict, and suffering. Demonizing political opponents or blaming societal problems on them perpetuates division and conflict, preventing us from finding common ground and working together to create a better world. When we see others as enemies, we justify our own aggression, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of violence and oppression. Learning to take responsibility for one's own projections involves practicing empathy, compassion, and forgiveness, which helps us see the humanity in others, even those we disagree with. By taking this route, you can begin to see the world differently, fostering connection and undermining Archon control. Understanding this reduces conflict in your life, leading to reduced anger, increased patience, improved tolerance, and increased empathy. As you begin to reclaim your projections and take responsibility for your own experiences, you will find that your relationships improve, your communication becomes more effective, and your overall sense of well-being increases. You will no longer be trapped in the cycle of blame and resentment, and you will be able to approach others with greater compassion and understanding. By dissolving the illusion of separation, you create a world of connection, cooperation, and peace. Let's reframe magical practice as a method for internal psychological work, recognizing that rituals, symbols, and intentions can be powerful tools for transforming negative patterns of thought and emotion. Magical practice, in this context, is not about manipulating external forces, but rather about working with the internal forces that shape our reality. What was once an external battle becomes an internal transformative process, allowing you to reclaim your power and create a more fulfilling life. Think about the potential of turning what once felt like a hopeless curse into a blessing that propels you forward, knowing that anything is possible. Specific magical symbols represent internal psychological processes, providing a visual language for understanding and transforming the unconscious mind. The pentagram, for example, represents the 5 elements of earth, air, water, fire, and spirit, symbolizing the integration of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the self. The wand represents the element of fire, symbolizing will, intention, and the power of transformation. The chalice represents the element of water, symbolizing emotions, intuition, and the receptivity to divine guidance. The sword represents the element of air, symbolizing intellect, reason, and the ability to discern truth from falsehood. By understanding the symbolism of these magical tools, we can gain insights into our own psychological processes and learn how to work with them more effectively. Imagine each symbol as a key that unlocks hidden potential within your psyche. Transformative rituals can be used to work with these internal forces, altering their influence within the psyche and allowing you to break free from the Archon's grip. A ritual for banishing negative thought patterns, for example, might involve creating a sacred space, invoking protective energies, and then symbolically releasing the negative thoughts through visualization, chanting, or burning. A ritual for invoking positive qualities, such as courage, compassion, or wisdom, might involve creating a sacred space, invoking the desired qualities, and then embodying those qualities through affirmations, visualizations, and actions. A ritual for integrating shadow aspects of the self might involve creating a safe and supportive environment, visualizing a meeting with your shadow self, and then offering compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Intention, visualization, and symbolic action are key components of any transformative ritual, focusing your energy and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your desired outcome. Ultimately, control comes from within, not from the outside, and it's essential to connect to the divine spark within yourself to access the transformative power you already hold. Recognizing your own inner power unlocks your divine spark, allowing you to become a conscious creator of your own reality, showcasing how recognizing one's own inner power can unlock one's own divine spark, empowering you to break free from the Archon's matrix and live a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment. Are you ready to claim your power? To put these concepts into practice, consider these specific rituals and exercises you can use to transform your internal Archons. Start with a journaling exercise for identifying the beliefs and emotions associated with the inner critic. Write a dialogue between yourself and this internal Archon, exploring its motivations, fears, and limiting beliefs. Then challenge those beliefs and replace them with more positive and empowering affirmations. Detail a guided meditation for integrating shadow aspects of the self, visualizing a meeting with your shadow self, and offering compassion and understanding. Create a sacred space, invoke protective energies, and visualize the shadow self in a safe and supportive environment. Ask questions of the shadow self, such as "What do you need?" or "What are you afraid of?" Listen to its answers without judgment and offer it your love and acceptance. Finally, create a personal affirmation practice for reinforcing positive beliefs and values, using specific examples that target common self-sabotaging patterns. Individual liberation from Archon influence contributes to a shift in collective consciousness, suggesting that as more individuals awaken to the truth and reclaim their spiritual sovereignty, a critical mass will be reached, leading to a planetary transformation. As more individuals break free from the Archon's grip, they create a ripple effect of positive change, inspiring others to do the same, building a world that is free from fear, oppression, and suffering. Will you join them, manifesting intentions and shaping reality through the power of thoughts, emotions, and actions, empowers individuals to become conscious co-creators of a more positive future. By focusing on love, compassion, and cooperation, we can create a world that reflects our highest aspirations. Encourage viewers to embrace their unique gifts, cultivate their inner gnosis, and work together to build a world that reflects their highest aspirations. By aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our intentions, we can create a more harmonious and fulfilling world for ourselves and for generations to come. Embodying Gnostic principles in our daily lives helps us align with our true selves and create a more harmonious world by living with compassion, integrity, and authenticity. When we live in alignment with our values, we create a positive ripple effect in the world, inspiring others to do the same. When we treat others with kindness and respect, we create a world of connection, cooperation, and peace. When we express ourselves authentically, without fear of judgment or criticism, we create a world where everyone feels safe to be themselves. Invite action by reminding viewers of these exercises to perform every day to maintain pattern changes, creating a more peaceful and fulfilling life. We are only just getting started. Have you ever woken from a dream feeling inexplicably disturbed, carrying with you a lingering sense of dread or confusion? It may be more than just a bad dream. It could be the subtle influence of the Archons seeping into your waking reality through the malleable landscape of your subconscious. They understand that the dream state is a gateway, a realm where the defenses of the conscious mind are lowered, allowing them to implant suggestions, reinforce limiting beliefs, and drain your vital energy. The Archons seek to control not only your waking thoughts, but also the very fabric of your dream world, turning your nights into a battleground for your soul. Within the dream realm, the Archons employ a range of insidious techniques to manipulate your perceptions and emotions. They often create confusing and illogical scenarios designed to disorient you and undermine your sense of control. You might find yourself in familiar locations that are subtly distorted, or interacting with people who are acting strangely or saying things that make no sense. These bizarre and unsettling experiences are intended to destabilize your mind and make you more susceptible to their influence. Fear is another weapon of choice. Nightmares, terrifying figures lurking in the shadows, and the feeling of being chased or trapped are all hallmarks of Archon influence in the dream world. These fear-based emotions can linger long after you wake up, affecting your mood, your energy levels, and your overall sense of well-being. False awakenings are another common tactic, where you believe you have woken up, only to find yourself still trapped in the dream, further blurring the lines between reality and illusion. Consider the last time you had a particularly disturbing dream. Did it leave you feeling shaken and off balance? Could it be that the Archons were at play, attempting to manipulate your subconscious mind? The key to resisting Archon influence in the dream world is to become a lucid dreamer, someone who is aware that they are dreaming while they are still in the dream. Lucid dreaming allows you to take control of your dream environment, challenge negative influences, and transform nightmares into empowering experiences. You can induce lucidity through various techniques, such as performing regular reality checks throughout the day, asking yourself, "Am I dreaming?" and looking for inconsistencies in your surroundings. Keeping a dream journal can also help you become more aware of your dream patterns and identify recurring themes or symbols that may be indicative of Archon influence. Intention setting is another powerful tool. Before you go to sleep, clearly state your intention to become lucid and to resist any negative influences in your dreams. Once you become lucid, you can use visualizations and affirmations to dispel negative energies and gain control of your dream environment. Visualize yourself surrounded by a protective light or affirm your power and sovereignty over your dream world. Face your fears, confront the shadowy figures that haunt your dreams, and transform them into allies. The dream world can become your personal laboratory for spiritual growth and self-empowerment. Upon waking from an Archon-influenced dream, it's crucial to take immediate action to counteract its effects. First, consciously detach yourself from any negative emotions that may be lingering. Acknowledge the fear, anxiety, or confusion, but refuse to let it control you. Remind yourself that it was just a dream and that you are safe and powerful in your waking reality. Then implement a positive affirmation to solidify a positive attitude. Repeat a phrase such as, "I am strong, I am protected, I am in control of my own destiny." This can help to reestablish your sense of self-mastery and prevent the negative energies of the dream from seeping into your waking life. Also, it helps to write the details from your dream, and analyze what it could mean from a psychological and spiritual perspective. Beyond the realm of dreams, the Archons communicate through a symbolic language that permeates art, media, and everyday life. Recognizing and decoding this symbolism is essential for understanding their influence and reclaiming your personal power. Consider the recurring symbol of the all-seeing eye, often associated with surveillance, control, and the illusion of constant observation. It appears in corporate logos, political symbols, and even on currency, subtly reinforcing the message that you are always being watched. The serpent, a symbol of deception, temptation, and hidden knowledge, is another common motif, often used to represent the Archons themselves or their agents. The inverted cross, a symbol of the subversion of traditional values and the rejection of divine authority, can also be seen as a sign of Archon influence. Have you ever noticed these symbols appearing in unexpected places? Could it be that they are part of a larger campaign to manipulate your perceptions and control your thoughts? Corporate logos, political symbols, and entertainment narratives are rife with hidden meanings that reinforce materialism, conformity, and obedience to authority. Analyze the symbolism in popular movies, TV shows, and advertisements. Notice how often violence, consumerism, and superficiality are glorified, while genuine connection, critical thinking, and spiritual growth are marginalized or ridiculed. Pay attention to the messages that are being subtly conveyed through imagery, music, and dialogue. Are you being encouraged to question authority or to blindly follow the crowd? Are you being inspired to pursue your dreams or to settle for a life of mediocrity and conformity? Consider the impact of these messages on your subconscious mind. Are they empowering you, or are they programming you to accept a limited and distorted version of reality? To further decode Archon-like influences, delve into the study of numerology, sacred geometry, and astrology. Specific numbers, geometric shapes, and astrological alignments are associated with certain archons or limiting energies. For example, the number 13 is often associated with chaos, disruption, and the subversion of order. The pentagon, a five-sided geometric shape, is associated with the suppression of the feminine principle and the promotion of patriarchal values. Certain astrological alignments, such as eclipses or planetary conjunctions, can create periods of heightened energetic tension, making individuals more susceptible to Archon influence. By understanding these symbolic associations, you can become more aware of the subtle energies that are shaping your reality. Viewers can interpret these symbols in their own lives by researching and identifying recurring patterns. The ability to consciously reinterpret and neutralize these symbols is vital to reclaiming personal power. When you encounter a symbol that you recognize as being associated with Archon influence, consciously reframe its meaning in your mind. Visualize a positive symbol counteracting the negative influence. For example, if you see the all-seeing eye, visualize your own inner eye of wisdom and discernment, allowing you to see through the illusion of control. If you see the serpent, visualize a symbol of healing and transformation, such as the caduceus, representing the power of transmutation. Consciously reclaiming these symbols helps to break their hold on your subconscious mind and allows you to create your own reality, free from manipulation. Do not underestimate the power of your mind to transform your world. The Archons seek to trap us not only in physical and mental prisons, but also in the prison of time itself. The Gnostic concept of Chronos represents the Archon of time, who binds us to linear, repetitive cycles of past and future, preventing us from fully experiencing the present moment. Chronos perpetuates a sense of scarcity, urgency, and anxiety, making us feel like we are constantly running out of time, constantly rushing to meet deadlines, and constantly worrying about what might happen in the future. This is the modern experience of feeling time poor, a state of perpetual stress and overwhelm that keeps us from connecting with our true selves and living a fulfilling life. How often do you find yourself caught in the relentless pursuit of productivity, sacrificing your well-being and your relationships in the name of efficiency? Could it be that Chronos has you in its grip, trapping you in a cycle of endless striving. Chronos limits our awareness of the present moment and our ability to access higher states of consciousness. When we are constantly dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we are unable to fully engage with the here and now, which is the only time that truly exists. Attachment to the past, with its regrets, traumas, and unresolved issues, can keep us stuck in negative patterns and prevent us from moving forward. Anxiety about the future, with its fears, uncertainties, and worst-case scenarios, can paralyze us with worry and prevent us from taking action. When we are trapped in these temporal prisons, we are unable to access the wisdom, creativity, and joy that are available to us in the present moment. Imagine the freedom of being able to release the burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future, and simply be present, fully alive, and deeply connected to yourself and the world around you. Transcending Chronos requires a conscious effort to reclaim our experience of time, to slow down, focus our attention, and connect with the present moment. Practices like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, and conscious appreciation can help us to break free from the grip of Chronos and enter into a state of Kairos, or sacred time. Mindfulness meditation involves observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing you to become more aware of the present moment and less caught up in the stories of the past or the anxieties of the future. Deep breathing exercises can help to calm your nervous system and bring you back to your body, grounding you in the present moment. Conscious appreciation involves taking the time to notice and appreciate the beauty and goodness that surrounds you, cultivating a sense of gratitude and contentment. The Archons do not want you to be content. That's why you must try to seek it. Mastering time improves productivity and fulfillment by prioritizing tasks and performing the most important ones during the day, leading to improved results and reduced time wasted. When you are clear about your priorities and focused on your goals, you are less likely to be distracted by trivial tasks or unproductive activities. Time batching improves your efficiency by grouping similar tasks together and dedicating specific blocks of time to them, allowing you to enter a state of flow and accomplish more in less time. By mastering time, you can create a more balanced and fulfilling life, where you have time for work, for play, for relationships, and for spiritual growth. The influence of the Archons extends beyond the psychological and temporal realms, permeating the very technologies that shape our modern world. Technology has a dual nature, acting as a tool for both liberation and control, and it is essential to understand its potential for both good and evil. On one hand, technology can connect us with information, resources, and communities, empowering us to learn, grow, and express ourselves in unprecedented ways. On the other hand, technology can isolate us, distract us, and manipulate our thoughts and behaviors, turning us into passive consumers of information and obedient servants of the system. Have you ever felt addicted to your phone, constantly checking social media or email, even when you know you should be doing something else? Could it be that technology is being used to control your attention and manipulate your behavior? Artificial intelligence, surveillance technologies, and virtual reality pose significant risks to our freedom and autonomy. AI algorithms can predict and influence human behavior, raising ethical concerns about manipulation and control. Governments and corporations are using surveillance technologies to track our movements, monitor our communications, and collect vast amounts of data about our lives, eroding our privacy and creating a chilling effect on free expression. Virtual reality can create immersive and addictive experiences that blur the lines between reality and illusion, potentially leading to a detachment from the real world. Imagine a future where AI algorithms are making decisions on your behalf, where your every move is being tracked and monitored, and where you are spending most of your time in a virtual world, disconnected from your body, your emotions, and your relationships. This is the potential for technology to be used as a tool for Archon-like control. Be skeptical of technology and its integration into your daily life, and consider the potential for its manipulation and control. Consciously and intentionally using technology minimizes its negative effects and maximizes its potential for empowerment. Digital detoxes, where you intentionally disconnect from all electronic devices for a period of time, can help you to break free from the cycle of addiction and reclaim your attention. Mindful social media usage, where you consciously choose what to consume and how to interact with others online, can help you to avoid the trap of comparison, competition, and negativity. Critical media consumption, where you question the sources, motives, and biases behind the information you are receiving, can help you to avoid being manipulated by propaganda and misinformation. Technology can be used to connect with nature, express your creativity, and cultivate your inner gnosis. Tech may be used to improve your life with proper boundaries, using an alarm as a reminder to disconnect, scheduling specific times for checking email and social media, and creating tech-free zones in your home, such as the bedroom or the dining room. These boundaries can help you to create a healthier relationship with technology and prevent it from dominating your life. Technology can be a powerful tool for improving your life, but it is important to use it consciously and intentionally, setting clear boundaries and prioritizing your well-being. Make sure you are in control and that technology is not controlling you. As you navigate the digital landscape, remember that technology, like any tool, can be used for empowerment or control. The key lies in conscious intention and mindful engagement, which can minimize its negative influences and maximize its potential for growth. Now, as we reach the culmination of our exploration, let's consolidate our understanding of the Archons, drawing from Gnostic cosmology, magic, and psychological insights. They are entities, or internal forces, that seek to limit human perception, trap us in cycles of ignorance, and hinder our spiritual evolution. Throughout this journey, we've highlighted the effectiveness of Gnostic practices and magical techniques in recognizing and overcoming Archon influence. Meditation, shadow work, dream work, and conscious symbol interpretation are powerful tools for unlocking inner gnosis and reclaiming your sovereignty. The central revelation remains: the individual's journey to enlightenment is the most important action, not escaping or defeating the Archons. They are necessary challenges, opportunities for self-discovery, and catalysts for spiritual evolution. Remember, individual actions create ripples of knowledge, affecting change far beyond what you can perceive. The power to transcend their influence lies within your commitment to spiritual growth, self-awareness, and the application of gnosis. This content has provided knowledge of the path, but the journey must be completed by you. Freedom truly means releasing any attachment to expectations, embracing the present moment with open awareness. The knowledge you've gained about the Archons connects to broader themes of spiritual evolution and collective awakening. Understanding their influence is a step toward understanding the nature of reality, recognizing unseen forces, and claiming your inherent divine power. The ability to recognize patterns is essential for identifying Archon-like influences in various aspects of your life, allowing you to create a more conscious and intentional existence. Recognizing these influences has profound implications for personal transformation, for liberation begins within, by understanding the nature of self and one's own divine spark. This understanding then translates outwards, helping to create a fulfilling life, aligned with your unique divine mission. This individual transformation contributes to a broader shift in consciousness, a collective awakening where more and more people recognize unseen forces and claim their divine power, leading to improved discernment, enhanced empathy, improved self-control, and a dedication to truth. So how do we integrate this knowledge of the Archons into our lives and move forward on our spiritual path? Apply the Gnostic principles and magical techniques discussed in this video to your daily experiences, refocusing your energy on the path to enlightenment and personal growth through action. Release the need to fight the Archons or view them as external enemies, for the ultimate goal is not to escape the Archons, but to embody the qualities that they lack. As you move forward, focus on love, wisdom, and connection, diminishing their influence on your life and contributing to a shift in collective consciousness. Remember, the goal of individual work is not to change the world, but to allow the world to change. Embrace the present moment and trust the guidance of the divine. Start today. Set an intention for your spiritual growth, practice gratitude for the blessings in your life, and connect with others on a deeper level. What aspects of this information resonated with you the most? How will you apply these principles to your daily life? What challenges do you anticipate encountering on your spiritual path, and how will you overcome them? Consider exploring related topics such as magical practices, in-depth analyses of Gnostic texts, detailed exploration of the transhumanist movement, and the relationship between spirituality and technology. Share your insights, experiences, and questions in the comments below, helping to build a community of shared knowledge and accelerated learning. The journey to understanding the Archons and their influence is a profound one, a path toward personal and collective liberation. This journey is continuous, and I encourage you to continue exploring, questioning, and growing, always trusting the guidance of your inner gnosis. Like, subscribe, and share this video, contributing to a larger collective awakening. By spreading this knowledge, you empower others to see through the illusion and reclaim their true potential.